Hello, I'm Stephanie Herzog with the League of Women Voters of Portland, and you're watching the Video Voters Guide, which is designed to educate you about the candidates running for the primary in May. The candidate today is John Sweeney. Welcome, John.
Thank you for inviting me, and the League of Women Voters has always done some fabulous job, and everybody should support the League of Women Voters, and probably one of the fairest organizations going. And anyway, so I'm running for state senate in District 21, and District 21 runs from the Banfield Freeway, basically north of Benson Polytechnic High School, down into Oak Grove and along the Willamette River, and varies, the eastern border varies from some places on Cesar Chavez, the old 39th Avenue, and sometimes it goes out to about 67th or so and jags back and forth, and that will be realigned in 2021 after the 2020 census, and so there'll be new boundaries for 2022. So
Okay.
And so that's my area, and I live in the Richmond area, and I was born in Glenada, Oregon, which is across the Sizewell River from Florence. And if you have these small towns, if you sneeze, you miss it. Well, Glenada's got an S turn through it, so if you sneeze going south, you're going to run into a bank. And if you sneeze going north, you're going to go over a bank. Do not sneeze going through Glenada. But I spent most of my life here in Portland. I was on the Multnomah Education Service District Board for 2 terms, served as, it was just 8 years, and I served as chairman twice and vice chairman once. I was with the Oregon Army National Guard. I joined when I was 16, and when I was 18 I went to the Army Reserve, and my time was up when I was 24, and I missed it, so when I was 25 I went back in. I became an officer, and when I was 31 I was an ordnance officer, so my troops were mechanics. I retired as a captain at 45, and the last 5 years I was a nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare officer.
Okay.
And then I was with the City of Portland Parks. I started out as a laborer, and then I became a utility worker, mower operator, cut 18 feet of grass at a time, and then I was on the forestry division and was with the forestry division. Then I became a park foreman and reclassified to a park supervisor. And those 2 things, the National Guard and the parks, taught me that I enjoyed it most of the time, and there are no perfect jobs. And so I dabble in politics a lot, and like I says, I'm an elected Democratic precinct committee man, and out of 4204, it used to be 4205, but they jockeyed around recently.
Okay. And
always been interested in government, and I've run for office, and some things happened that I didn't win and a lot of times, but I got a lot of things done, such as when I ran for mayor, I squawked about 17th and Powell, and they now have an underpass, because it used to be the trains that in the morning and night would block off the traffic, and I was advocating a overpass because they could have prefabbed it and put it up in 90 days rather than taking almost 2 years to build. And the city used to have bigger cars for their supervisors, so they now went to smaller cars. And I ran for city auditor once in 1970, and prior to 1972, City of Portland offices were not in the voters pamphlet. So got some gains, and talked to different people, and so I got some things across, and I enjoyed it, and it felt like it was worthwhile, and I have a chance to talk to people about what's going on, And I registered to vote 3 days after my 21st birthday, because that was the law at the time, and I voted in every election, every general, every primary, and I'm sure I got all of the special elections. And like some people, they show up and they rant and rave, and I says, "Are you registered to vote? And did you vote?" No, well, you did not talk at the time it counted most, because
Yeah.
they can't ignore your vote. So,
Yeah.
and all of you young people, when you turn 18, register to vote. And when you're talking to a politician, wave that little card, because a lot of times if they think you're under 30, you're not voting, but you wave the little card.
Yeah.
And of course, the guys have to register for the draft, but that's what you got to do.
So, John, what made you decide to run for this office?
Well, I was thinking about running for city council in Amanda Fritz's position, and then I've got other things going. I got a daughter in California and grandkids, so I like to visit them. So anyway, I went down to the legislature, and I thought about running for House District 42, because that's where I live, against Rob Nosh. But I decided, no, I would run for State Senate and Senate District 21, and Diane Rosenbaum was there. Well, surprise, surprise, she didn't sign up for re-election, and so my opponent, who's the representative in District 42, she was going to move up, and so I signed up, and so it's kind of a fly in the ointment, because the deal is she was going to have a free ride, and it didn't work out that way.
Okay.
But
So
it's
what-
a lot of nice people in
Yeah.
District 21.
What are some specific issues that your constituents in District 21 are concerned about?
Well, one of the things if you can step back and look at the big picture of government, you have a lot of what they want to do is everybody wants to do the same thing. And what they need to do, because there's only so much money, is to stratify the services, such as human services or welfare. If you drive around Portland, you have city offices and county offices and state offices. So you have all these hierarchies. So you're paying for a lot of paper shufflers rather than saying having human services, welfare handled by the county. And that's, in my view, is the most practical agency to handle it, because people, when they run out, the world collapses around them, they don't know where to go. If things collapse, they have that one level they can go to, then it'd be all coordinated. So they have a lot of things that are concern them, and one is the education and emphasizing the K through 12. We need to get in to have some civics, teaching kids how the thing's supposed to work, and teaching them vocational education, because we need people who are going to be able to build things and fix things.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't want to go to college. They don't need to go to college. And one of the things about college, you see, is that the major colleges, almost about half are from outside. So the deal is we're spending a lot of money to educate somebody else's kids.
Okay. That's all the time that we have. Thank you very much for your time, John Sweeney. And I'm Stephanie Herzog with the League of Women Voters of Portland. We want to remind you to make sure to register to vote if you're not registered. And the deadline for registering is April 26th, and Election Day is May 17th.
Vote.